Yo, what's up, guys? Why Not Be Reckless, aka Why Not Be Casting. I'm one of the HCS commentators, and today we have a lot to talk about. We have to talk about Space Station Gaming picking up the #1 team in Latin America and what this means for the Latin American community as a whole, and Snipedowns' potential new home. It's going to be a great one. I want to hop right into it, and this is actually one of my tweets. I was watching Optic scrimming, and they were scrimming against E-United under a mystery fort. He was playing under a Smurf. That Smurf's name was Faceless Peak 69. And I'm over here like, no clue who he is. And I'm like, let me try to find some context clues. So while I'm watching the Optic scrims, I'm really paying attention to the comms. And twice they referred to the mystery player as Eric. So I tweeted out immediately. I'm over here with my detective hat on, and I'm like, ooh, I got him. It's freaking Snipedown. I know it. Snipedown and YNOT have a great rapport with each other. And I really think that Snipedown's playstyle really fits the mold of E-United. So I'm over here detective mode. I'm like, it's him. I know it. And then I also made a little bit of a comment like, does this mean that Manny goes back to KCP? A couple people reached out to me and said they think it's going to happen, even though Collect has been scrimming with the team in general. So I'm not sure exactly how that would work, but either way, we have a mystery fort scrimming in place of Manny, going alongside Ryan, Suspector, and Rain, and the mystery fort who may be Snipedown. Man already found a new home. And if that wasn't enough, the fact that they called him Eric a couple of times, there was a bit of a slip up here, and I'm going to raise the volume so you guys can hear this. A bit of a slip up.
I had him twice. He's going our flag, Snipedown. He's going our flag, Snipedown. I had him twice. He's going our flag, Snipedown.
They accidentally called him Snipedown right off the rip. So if it wasn't enough that they were already calling him Eric, at that point they legitimately say Snipedown. So it was a Snipedown confirmed. So this doesn't mean that E-United are signing Snipedown right off the rip, but obviously with him no longer in phase, he's a hot commodity. He's still one of the hottest free agents that are around. So E-United say, you know what, we're trying to figure things out. We've obviously let go King Nick, and we're looking for a roster spot. And maybe Manny was the key, maybe he wasn't, maybe he didn't fit the mold well, and Snipedown does. He has a lot slower of a game style and can really take advantage of hitting that first shot and taking those 1v2 actions. And I think it's gonna work well for E-United if they go that route. Meanwhile, I think Manny, he wants to find a bit of a faster team. Like, he's obviously he has a ton of talent and he can make huge plays, but he's better with the faster team. So sometimes, again, it's not about the skill set. We all know that both Snipedown and King Nick and Manny and all these guys have the shot. They have the skill. Sometimes it's just about fit, and maybe this fits better for Snipedown. Moving on, we have Space Station Gaming picking up the #1 team out of Latin America, and let me tell you, I love this move. Later on today, when I'm done with the recording, I'm literally going to buy the SSG skins on stream because I already had the #1, the season 1 ones, but I didn't have the season 2. I'm gonna buy them on stream because I support this for a multitude of different reasons. #1, SSG were obviously looking for a home. They dropped their entire roster who was underperforming after not even getting a chance to qualify to make it into Orlando and Worlds, and it's just really tough. They had a ton of potential. They just weren't able to figure it out. And I'm hearing that there was a lot of inner turmoil within the actual organization, within the actual team. And they were fighting through, trying to figure it out. But eventually, there's only so much you can do when you're just not on the same page. And sadly, SSG were not. And they were never able to hit that full potential that I know they had within them. So they ended up dropping the whole roster. They tried to make a move for Kansas City Pioneers, which I think was a good move. However, the Kansas City Pioneers were already in the final stages of selling their team to another organization, which we now know to be Native, thanks to being reported by Jake Lucky. So it left SSG a huge hole to try to fill, and them going in and signing the team from Mexico. Like, you already know this team's going to be Orlando. You already know this team is going to be at Worlds, and you already know they are going to find success. I think it's great, especially because the main problem I had and I think the Latin American community had was that they felt underrepresented. They felt like they honestly felt like us as the competitive Halo community turned our back on them. You know, you have only the Mexican community that's able to compete in the Latin American series, and that left a giant hole for the Colombian players. You know, you have Guardian Flies, Johan, Pelu. I believe even I want to say Magico is from Colombia. I'm not sure about that. Either way, there was such a strong and passionate fan base that was in Colombia, and they weren't allowed to compete. And it was honestly sad. It was heartbreaking that, you know, you have these guys that are passionate and on fire for Halo, and they weren't allowed to compete. So luckily the prize pool got big enough to warrant a lot of them being able to move over to Mexico to be able to compete in a lot of these series, and I think that's great. It was a step in the right direction, but still, I want to see these regions open up to Colombia, so that everybody from there could to compete. Because a lot of people that just didn't have the opportunity to do so, that are still in Colombia, that aren't competing. Either way, the Latin American community, they didn't have anybody to root for as far as a partnered organization. And now that SSG has signed them, let me tell you, those skins are about to sell, man. Again, it's not just the Colombian community that's passionate and that's on fire. The whole Latin American community, they love Halo, and they didn't have anybody to really root for as far as a partnered organization. Now they do, and I want to give some body to this. So I want to show how we got here. You know, SSG's road and where the Pittsburgh Knights are. And I think we have to look at the tournament results in order to kind of catch that. You know, so you have SSG with Formal able to place top 6 in the open series. That's, you know, decent. I think a lot of the teams were competing in that open series. You know, they go into Raleigh. Obviously, they don't have Formal. They run in with Tusk and deciding who phenomenal players. Top 8, not bad, but still leaves, you know, I think they still wanted to make some improvement from there. Going into Anaheim, top 16. That's really tough because if you remember, Anaheim only invited the top 6, the only 16 teams. So legitimately, they kind of got last place on land. Like if you're 6, I mean, obviously they were able to qualify for Anaheim, which was great, but there was only 16 teams that were invited there, and you got 16th place. So obviously not where they wanted to be, and again, room for improvement. You go to the FaZe Invitational. This was $25,000, top 12 out of 12 invited teams. Again, still struggling. Top 16 out of Kansas City. Again, normally, top 16 is great, but not for SSG. They wanted more, and I would say that this was still a disappointment. You're just not able to catch fire that we know. I mean, again, you're talking about Ace, Collect, Suppressed, and Tylenol. Their coach is Elamite, who, by the way, Elamite can probably jump on a squad and get top 16. He's that good. Like the roster was so much potential, was so good, and sadly they weren't able to reach it. Now on the other side, you got the Pittsburgh Knights, and there's a whole lot of gold here. First place. Let's see. The Halo, this was actually Halo 5. I apologize. Move up to the Infinite side. Just more gold. I love seeing that gold right there. Let's see. We got during the HCS Mexico Super 2022, $20,000 first place. That was huge for them. Again, more first place, just absolutely killing it. And then the most recent Mexico City, $20,000 again, first place. Pittsburgh Knights have been finding success, and even against the North American talent, like for example, Sentinels won Kansas City. There was 2 teams that were able to take them to Game 5 before they made it to the championship bracket. And number 1, that was Quadrant, who played lights out, by the way. And number 2, the Pittsburgh Knights. And that's the exact team that's being signed by Space Station Gaming. So if you could take Sentinels to Game 5, and damn it, might I say, they looked good during that Game 5, maybe, just maybe, they can upset a big team, especially when you add the resources that SSG are going to dump into them, because SSG are phenomenal org. Let me tell you, some of my favorite merch comes from SSG, even though I'm wearing a FaZe jersey right now. SSG are a phenomenal org, and I don't think they're afraid to invest in their team. So not to say Pittsburgh Knights didn't, but I don't think the Pittsburgh Knights have the backing of a Space Station Gaming. So it's gonna be really exciting to see where Atso, Drift, Pelu, and Tapping Buttons go under the Space Station Gaming org. I wish them luck. I'm going to be rooting for them. This was your HCS Weekly Report, guys. I'm going to record another one tomorrow. I'm just really excited about this one. Let me know in the comments down below how you feel about this signing, and let me know if you think that E United are going to sign Snipedown. You guys have a good one. Peace.